Lights they flicker and the candles glitter like you're in a thriller. Heart goes pum pum pum. Ghostly figures they can get so bitter. Show you once or until you can turn back to. You don't know where I've been. What's going on inside? Where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that cozy. It's up to you, so you decide, you decide. Would you love me at my worst till the coffin's in the dirt? Try to break me like a curse, you know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd, I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted, haunted house?
There we go.
I like that.
Get a little upbeat going before we get started.
Yeah, I'm like, man, is that a copyright song or not? I'm like, wow, that's almost like something you hear on the radio.
It depends. It depends on how YouTube considers it nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, we got a bunch of people coming in. That's good. Usually takes a while to get going.
Oh yeah. We need an hour, 2 hour show. Sometimes in the 20-30 minute mark is when you start seeing a peak. It's everybody's slowly coming in and all that. But I'm already seeing some good people. I'm seeing some people that I know. Danny Stanton, which is my boy.
Pups and Crochet. I don't know if I've seen them in here before, but welcome. Got Chrissy Cat, Dana B, Carson ER. Let's see. Starman and Beyond, I think.
He's my buddy.
Okay. Welcome. I see Lost Souls. I'd love to get her up here also. Still in talks, I guess.
Well, she's got to find her soul first. Then
she does true crime stuff.
Yeah.
It really late at night. Well, late on my end, but yeah.
My wife loves true crimes. You know, my wife actually works at a court and all that. So she's really into true crimes and what are they getting busted with? What are they getting charged with? Because she knows all that because she works in the the department for it all. Yeah.
And one thing I can say that I really admire what she does, instead of, during her show, there was one of her viewers, her son was on a road trip and they didn't have any contact with him for like 4 hours. So she dropped her show and tried to help her out by, law enforcement and different things and forgot all about the show. And it was just about helping somebody. And that's
awesome.
Rare to see nowadays.
Yes, it is. That is rare.
Very, very rare to see these days.
Oh, Daniel. Hey. Chocolate and cheese.
And I was watching you the other day and seen some of your production of what you created back in the day, I guess. And I got a kick out of it. I thought it was great.
When you go back and you look at your stuff that you started with, right? Because I started in like 2016. And when you go back, like the earliest videos, and I'll admit, I did, the quality sucks. When the first 2 videos, I tried to possess a doll, because you heard how dolls are a conduit. I did it on air. I built my own little Ouija board, did it all. You know what I mean? But the production was bad. I had no lighting with the green screen. So, it was just, but you know what? That's where you learn, right? When you go back and you look at yourself and you're like, wow.
Well, because when I started in gaming. So I had the green screen, but instead of being up against the wall, it was hung up by a 1x2, and it was hanging there. It was looked really nice and everything, except when my cats decided to climb on it. So it looked like my cats were flying in the air. I'd be playing a game, all of a sudden, what's that behind you? And I looked back here, and my cat was just climbing away. And yeah, it's a learning process.
It is. But I'll tell you something that's really cool, honestly, on my channel. If I'm not trying to sell anything or anything.
Oh no,
but about August of last year, everybody in the community was making like documentaries, right? Everybody's making documentaries, you know, and it's like I was getting like a little jealous, like, God, I want to do something too that's a little different, you know. But everybody's doing documentaries, and you know, everybody lives by people. I live in Seattle, Washington, where I don't, you know, I got, you know what I mean. So I actually started a 2D animation cartoon series. I got 10 episodes of a cool Paranormal Highway cartoon series, and there's a playlist for it, and they're only like 3 to 10 minutes long. But what the coolest thing about this 2D animation cartoon series, it's really about myself and another YouTuber get lost on a paranormal highway. We meet up with the Bigfoot that joins us on this adventure that we know we're going on. We get abducted by aliens, go to another planet, and every episode is like, we have dinosaurs in one. There's an episode that we fight. We actually have to go to heaven because Zeus took over heaven. We had to go up there. Mermaids stole the Ark of the Covenant, so we had to go get the Ark back. It's crazy. I even older people like us might know this. Remember, you probably like the band Kiss. I like the band Kiss. I don't know if you remember the movie 1978. They did the Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
I think so.
In my episode 8 cartoon, I brought the band Kiss in it and brought back like that storyline and made a true ending for it in my cartoon series. So it's fun. One of the coolest thing, this is about the coolest thing about the cartoon series. Every voice that's in it is from people that have YouTube channels.
Oh, that's good. So you kind of get everybody
I got UFO
involved.
people, paranormal people. I got like Amber's Paraworld. She played the Queen Mermaid in one. Bigfoot Michigan Rob played the devil in one. You know what I mean? I got real YouTube channels that actually voice characters in it. So it's kind of cool. It's like my way of bringing everybody together without actually seeing them in you know, because they all live in Michigan, they all live in New York, and I live in Washington. So it's a fun little cartoon series. My last one, instead of a multiverse, we went to the Mandela Effect multiverse.
Oh,
so
that's different.
You know what I mean? So it's different. It's crazy. But at the end, it's about us, Bigfoot, alien together. You know, we're all a team. You know, Gabriel the Archangel went out with us on a couple of ventures. So it's just about every pieces you can imagine, all trying to help each other out and save the world. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's something different too. Compared to, like you said, everybody else was doing documentaries. Because I did see the last couple years, it's crowded. You see it a lot on
yes.
on TV about the documentaries about. It's the in thing now.
It's the in thing. I would say my cartoon is more like South Park style. So it's like more like South Park style, but they're fun. They're only 3 to 8 minutes long. Each one has some are longer, some are shorter, but they really are truly fun.
Well, since you're go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and your channel.
Oh, sure. My channel is called Paranormal Highway. Well, some of my older people who know me in the chat that's been my channel. My channel used to be called a long time ago. It was Gypsy Road for the longest time. So a lot of people still know me as Gypsy Road, but unfortunately, the name Gypsy, I guess it's people are saying the name is a slur now, which I don't
Oh,
use it as a slur. But
yeah,
I kept getting complaints, YouTube saying, "Hey, you need to
yep,
change your name." I love the name Gypsy Road. It was about taking that journey, getting on that road. But since I had to change it because they considered it a slur, Danny
yep,
goes, "Well, hey, Danny Staton, that's there." And he's like, "Hey, call your channel Paranormal Highway, like one step from a road." So, um, so my channel's always been, even though the title's Paranormal Highway, it's always been about the Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, and Mandela effects. I used to do a lot of Mandela effects, especially in the past, because I'm intrigued by it all, and I wanted a channel that has a mix. Like I wanted a channel to be where everybody could come to here, because when you're a hardcore Bigfoot channel, sometimes it could get a little heavy. Sometimes, you know what I mean? That's all you hear, Bigfoot
yep,
or the UFO. Well, you come to my channel and we're more relaxed. We're more, you don't know what you're gonna get. We'll have a title, but we could go from here to here.
yeah,
And
a mixture.
and
Yeah,
it's a mixture, and a lot of it is live shows, but lately this year there's been a mix of, like I said, there's been a mix of live shows, cartoons, and I've been going out on more investigations. So there's a lot more investigation videos that are on there too. Because last year I got a work injury, so I couldn't really walk, but I had a surgery. Just 8 weeks ago, I had a surgery on the leg. I'm better. I'm getting back out there now. And so I just love, see, the thing is about Bigfoot, I actually had an encounter. I don't know if none of your I know this is the first time for a lot of people in the chat. Like Bigfoot's always huge with me too, because we actually had an encounter with the Bigfoot when I was like around 11 years old. I don't know if you want to hear it or not.
oh, go
You
ahead.
know, so
Yeah,
so we had a Bigfoot encounter when I was a kid. Like I said, I think I was around 11. It was like 1984, because I remember that year because that was the year of Van Halen 1984 album came out. So I use albums as my trigger marks. Like that's how I remembered that incident. So my family has always been respectable hunters, do everything the correct way of hunting.
yeah,
And I lived, at the time, I was born and raised in California. I lived in Fresno, California, where the city that nobody wants to go to. Everybody skips Fresno. Everybody makes fun of Fresno. But the Sierra Mountains, Yosemite Mountains, we go hunting every year. So one year we go to a place called Poison Meadows. That's like our camp spot. We camp at this place called Poison Meadows. You got the beautiful meadows, you got the water, you got the true environment pot where you think, you're thinking all the animals are going to be at.
yeah,
So one time when we do like when we go do our hunting rounds, how we do it was the older people will drive in vehicles, and then the younger people would walk on feet. So we always have this pattern on how we go hunting. Some drivers go this way, and all the walkers. And then we meet up at a certain time where we have these huge like rocks. This is like 5 o'clock before dusk. We'll meet up there. The idea is they're gonna flush out,
yeah.
and we'll intercept it. We all have plans, and it's just and it's also safety reasons too, because now we pick everybody up, we know everybody's
Where
here,
they're
nobody's
at.
missing,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of knows the trails very well. So you can still get lost. You know what I mean? You can still get lost in the
Oh,
mountains,
yeah.
even though it 100%, you get lost. But we have a certain way. When we meet everybody, we still have enough daylight in case somebody's behind. We got to go find somebody, however it works. Well, one night, we picked up everybody, got everybody in the car, everybody's there, everybody's counted for. So there's probably a total of like 6 grown-ups, maybe a total, I can't remember all of us kids, but there were like 6 kids. So there was about 12 or 13 people in this group. So we're driving back, and I remember to this day, I have an Uncle Johnny. My Uncle Johnny goes, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that?" I mean, that, you know, there was like, where's like everybody like turns their heads, and there it was. I mean, it's this thing was 7 foot. This thing was not a bear, because I know bears could get on 2 feet. We know that.
Yeah.
But this thing was standing up, and then all the young people, I don't recommend this to anybody, but all the young people got out of the car. All the young people got out of the car went after it. And nobody was like shooting at it. Don't get me wrong, you know, but of course they had their guns with them. I mean, you saw this, and everybody went after it. And I was behind the group because I was a little younger. They're, you know, I got an older brother now, so they're ahead of me, and following this thing into the mountain. This thing never got back on its 4 feet, so we know that wasn't a bear. It stayed on its 2 feet, because a bear would eventually flop down and go.
Oh yeah.
And it was like you could see some like a darker brownish kind of color, some little light colors more on top. And when you heard it, when you hear the thing scream and ran, it sounded like sorry women, like a woman distortion type of sound. Like it's hard to explain it. I know it was like a kid, like take a woman screaming like loud as they can, but put it through a distortion. It was like that. And then we're chasing it, and then the weirdest thing is they're chasing to a mark. Then when I heard up front, I was like, everything went quiet. Everyone's like, "Whoa, it's gone. No more noise. No nothing." I mean, it was just like, it was like, I'm not saying wormholes and all that. I know there's stories and theories that there could be and stuff, but I just think these things are like they know the woods. They're more like Green Berets and Rangers. You know, they can vanish.
Oh, that's where they live.
They know it, because it was silence, because to the point where you saw broken stems because people were running. But then there was no more broken stems. Like, you know, we even left and came back the next day. You saw where we ran up to the point where it was gone. Now, the grown-ups were pissed off as hell at all the kids for running out there saying, you guys are a bunch of dumb asses, because that thing, whatever it really was, could have turned around and hurt every single one of you. And then they're right. But to this day, now we blame the parents, because you see, I think the reason why everybody got out and ran, because when we go to the mountains every year, the parents always tell the kids, this is their country. This is the bears country. They talked about Bigfoot country. Everybody talked about Bigfoot like it was normal. Like they said, we didn't have internet as kids. For the longest time, I didn't even know that Bigfoot was considered a mystery, like a Santa Claus, because we heard how this is Bigfoot country, this is bear country, lion country, this is their land. And then when you go to school, like, oh, Bigfoot's not supposed to be real? What? You know, it was like a shock. So it was like, it was like when you hear people talk about something so long, it makes you feel comfortable thinking something, you know, as long as you don't hurt it, it won't hurt you. Now, one of my other uncles said, now, of course, we didn't think about it back then, said after that incident, they saw some like color lights in the sky, like a UFOs, but at the time, nobody really, you know, who cares about the UFOs? We get on the fight. You know, we just saw a Bigfoot. But then when you hear stories now that people saying that sometimes with Bigfoot sightings, people have seen orbs or lights and stuff, then you're like, huh, maybe there was something to whatever my Uncle
Never
saw.
know. Yeah.
You know?
Never know.
You just don't you truly don't know.
And you're talking that, the grown-ups always told you stories and whatnot. I remember a story one time where the younger kids, well, not kids, but younger adults went hunting with the grown-ups. Well, one of the grown-ups put on a suit, a Bigfoot suit, and tried to scare the kids. One of the kids, took upon himself to take out the Bigfoot, and it was actually his dad. So be careful when you tell your kids. That was in the papers and everything, that what had happened, and the guy never died or anything. He just it was bad for the kid though when he found out that what he done.
Yeah, I can. Well, fear could do a lot to a person.
Oh yeah.
We all think we know what we can do with fear, but you really don't. You really don't. Now, we were brave when they're chasing it, but what if the thing would turn around and start coming back? And then, the fear would kick in, and then
there's a lot of movies,
probably wet our pants.
A lot of movies where they just rip the people apart and whatnot because they're in their territory. Not saying that's true or anything, but something that big, could do damage.
Yeah, and I always hate when I'm not saying skeptics. I mean, everybody needs to be skeptic somewhat. You should be a skeptic first before you believe in something.
Oh yeah.
But I always say, well, where are they? Where's the evidence? First of all, evidence is all around you. You're just not choosing to believe any evidence that anybody has. But I always say people, then how come we don't see them like on a regular basis? I go, listen, the Sasquatch and Bigfoot, they know their land, they know their area. If you had a Green Beret rangers in part of the forest, they never been there, or your backyard, you won't see them.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see them until they're ready to attack you.
Yeah.
These things know their land. They're like them. They could, some people believe, and I believe this in a little bit, not a whole lot, that they can somewhat change color a little bit with the hair to match the trees, kind of like blend, like some insects can. I believe they can. Will that explain why some pictures are fuzzy or not? I mean, I can't tell you that.
Polar bear, they're white for a reason.
They're white for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes. Now it is, you and I were talking before this show starts. We were both talking how it is going to get harder for anybody now to start believing any kind of pictures that somebody could come out or video because of AI, green screens.
Yeah.
So the only thing I say people should do is really, truly question everything, because you're going to have to more than ever. What is this? What I wrote, Fiona Broom, a paranormal researcher, is given credit for coining the term Mandela effect. Well, I'll tell you, Fiona Broom, she's a paranormal researcher and all that, and in the Mandela effect world, she's kind of a phony a little bit, because she was at a party and she overheard somebody talked about Nelson Mandela dying twice. So it wasn't like she had any of those memories. And somebody else, her editor was one who actually, they don't tell you this, but the editor is one that actually brought up the name Mandela effect that she took and coined. So I never liked the name Mandela effect because it makes the phenomenon a joke. But I truly believe the phenomenon is somewhat real, because sometimes you can't explain why you remember something a certain way and everybody else does. I know I always hear people, well, there was commercials, there was this, there was that, but there's some things you just can't explain why your memory is one way and someone else's memory is another way. Not saying somebody's right or wrong. It could be bad memories. Yes, I could hear all that, but for everything,
Well, that's like your latest live. You were showing a video of these guys out in the woods. Oh, you see that? And then it's like pitch black.
yes.
You can't see anything. And it's like, how are you we're supposed to believe that?
Yes.
There might be something, but I doubt it, because it's, yeah.
What was that word somebody said? Because I was looking for that word where when somebody does this, what they're trying to do is make you
placebo
map out. Because it's like
yeah.
everybody in the chat, you guys ever watch Ghost Adventures, right? What they'll do is when they get some kind of a voice noise on a recorder, they'll say, "Ooh, sounds like this." And what happens is once they claim what it sounds like, everybody's like, "Yes, that's what it's saying."
Yeah. Did you hear
like
that?
The oldest trick in the world. It's like they want you to map it out, and then once you map it out, everybody else will jump on.
That's why I like ghost hunters. They ask them, "What did you hear?" And then they'll say, "Oh, it sounds like they're saying this," and they say, "Oh, that's what we heard." You know, we don't. They don't say, "Oh, this is what he's saying." They want you to know, to come up with your own conclusion first, because there is that fact that if you hear if somebody tells you, "Listen to this," he's saying hello, and then you hear it. Oh yeah, I hear it.
Power suggestion. That's it. That's life. What Bobby said. Power suggestion. That is so true. You know, I tell people, I'm not saying any shows you should trust 100%.
Oh yeah.
But you said it perfectly. When you watch Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, when Ghost Hunters go on investigation, you know, the show's kind of boring. But the thing is, most true investigations are boring.
Oh yeah.
And when Ghost Adventures go onto a place, oh my God!
Everyone to go to.
I mean, and Zach is running out the hallway, and I said this, you know, when I started in the cable business, when I first threw a 32-foot ladder up in the sky, I was scared crapless when first going up there with the hikes. But after 3 to 5, 6, 7 years, I could climb that 30-foot ladder up in the sky, no fear. Now, Ghost Adventures were going on 10 to 12, 15 years, and they still run like little babies. I mean, it's like, you got to be immune somewhat, correct?
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll somebody said this to me. I keep it as, you know, it's more of an entertainment to me. They said this is actual Bigfoot, by the way. Okay. I get a kick out of it every time I hear it. And I'm like, I don't know if Bigfoot would sound like that unless somebody kicked him in the nards or something.
That sounds like somebody just moaning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? The things we don't think it's real at all are the ones that turn out to be real. And the things that we think it's real, it's fake.
But after I was real enthused in hearing this and everything, and I put it on, and I played it in my speakers first, and I cracked up laughing. I'm like, okay, let me put my headphones on and see if I can hear any difference. And I'm not saying it's not Bigfoot, but I hope Bigfoot doesn't sound like that.
No, that, like, if somebody said that to me, I would have said, no, that Bigfoot does not sound like that. TV is bunk, real info here. Yeah, the problem with TV is the TV is trying to sell a product, and they need something to sell it with. And even God, Ghost Hunters did an episode up in Seattle, and they had a guest investigator that went with them. He was invited on for a few scenes, and he wasn't on my show. He was on another show that I was allowed to be on with the panel. And I remember his telling us, He goes, even the guys of ghost hunters are they're so frustrated with Travel Channel or whatever network. Well, Discovery Plus owns it all. Discovery owns all the channels. They said they get so frustrated because most of the night that you don't see is them setting up cameras, the camera people, and they really only do an honest maybe 2 hours of a real investigation. And then they cut that in 1 hour because most of the night, he said, most of the night, he goes that the main guy, I don't know his name, he has the goatee also.
Yeah.
And he's like, we need at least 8 hours to do a true investigation, but they can't. Yeah. They don't get it. So even themselves get frustrated. And if your own people get frustrated, now they don't come out and say that, but investigators who are guest appearance, they say it because, you know, they'll probably get fired if they come out.
I know Chris and Amy, and they've invited me to a few, not to be on the show or anything, but their guest appearance to, you know, that they get paid to have their picture on events and things like that. And they show up and whatnot. But one of the things that irritates them the most when doing that show is the cameraman. They didn't, every time the cameraman, everybody else, they record the back of their backs, and the girls, they always recorded their butts. And they said that they get so irritated when they turn around and the cameraman's pointing down and they would say, up here. And they would have to do this all the time. And the reason why is because they got more views because it was showing the girls' butts, basically.
Just watch Ghost Adventures in their first 5 seasons, next season. Now, you know, they got the music effects, they got the sound. They try to, you know, in the beginning, they didn't even have like that kind of a sound effects. They want the sounds and all that. And, you know, we all know there's frauds and there are fakes out there, but I've also said this, and I'm a true believer in this, that everybody, I want to say this before, I don't want anybody to think I'm saying it wrong. Everybody exaggerates a little bit about any kind of a story. You know, your grandma tells you a story. Everybody exaggerates a little bit, but there's a gray area that if you watch Zach, that guy exaggerates way up here than just a little bit. And I consider exaggeration another form of falsifying, lying, and being a fraud, because when you exaggerate to a certain point, what you're doing is you're changing people's minds, saying something is real when it was just a regular sound. So I get it. We exaggerate a little bit, but there's a fine line of exaggeration. Exaggeration is another form of lying.
3-inch fish, and it was this big.
Yeah. Now, if you want to say you got a 3-inch fish and it was actually 4, okay, you round up. All right. Okay, we'll get away with rounding up. But when you double the size of it, that's flat out lying. Exactly. That's perfectly said. That's perfectly said. Yeah. Oh, no. And that's always the magic question is, right? Then who's real? Who's real? Who should you watch? And I always tell people the only thing you really do nowadays, I was telling you behind the scenes, is you got to watch the host. You got to feel for the people that you're watching and start building a trust between the community that you're in. Now that, because you know, one of the wonderful things that I love about the community that I'm in is everybody feels safe to chime in. Like when I show a video, they'll give their opinions, and nobody's gonna bite your head off if you disagree, right?
Yeah,
and all that.
And then we had a guest. It's been a couple weeks, but he's more cynical about Bigfoot. He believes in Bigfoot because he had an encounter and everything, but there's a lot of stuff he doesn't believe in the Bigfoot, you know, that people say and whatnot. And he does he does extensive research in different theories and whatnot. And there was something about the DNA, and some lady was saying it was true and whatnot in our chat. And he kindly explained why he didn't believe in it. And then, she reverted to calling him names and this and that. And of course, she was removed from chat because you're allowed to have your opinions, but you don't go and, call people names, and
you don't call people's name or blast. Like
yeah.
I did a show last week on that David Crush guy, the one they're considering the real UFO whistleblower. So, and I went on my show and I said that I don't believe a single thing out of his mouth. I said, I don't believe a single thing. I respect his military record because I was in the military. I respect anybody's military record, but that all because you have a great military record doesn't mean you're always going to tell the truth when you're out. And one of my subscribers that is a member, like bought a membership to my channel, disagree with me, and she was cool. She's like, hey, Eric, I'm gonna leave this chat because I think the guy's real. Cool. She came back the next day. We did another show, and that's fine because we should never all have to agree. Like we all know in the Bigfoot community, Rick Dyer is the biggest fraud liar. Rick Dyer is the guy who said that they killed a Bigfoot and put it in the refrigerator, right? He's the big. First of all, did he even come out and say you shot a Bigfoot? That's you're an evil man. But there was one thing he did say that I do believe him, because he'd gone to at the time, and anybody in the Bigfoot community, there was a time that everybody believed him. People believed him. That he said that people. He said the top Bigfoot researchers, the ones who are always gets the big tables at the conferences. He mentioned that, they try to control the information. They will call out somebody's if they have like a real photo that could be something, and they'll say it's not because they want to stay on top. And I believe in that. And that's sad. And that's sad that there's people that they call themselves real researchers, but they want to be the gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
We had 2 Bigfoot conferences up here. I went to one of them, Yakima. I keep applying, say, hey, I would love to speak at one of your Bigfoot conferences and all that. I keep getting turned down. They don't want me. And a buddy of mine who actually knows them says, Eric, I got to tell you something. Don't take this the wrong way. They all know you. But believe it or not, they don't want you on there because you have too much energy. They don't want to be outshined. They don't want you to take. And I'm serious. I'm like, really? Like that's, and that is a problem with some of these conferences. Some of these conferences are, I hate to say it, they are a little boring. And like, if I'm there, I'm going to speak it up. I want the people who go to these to feel like they could be involved, not just sit there and hear this kind of a story. So I keep getting turned down because I'm too hyper.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, though. They want to be in that spotlight, and then the longer they can be in that spotlight, the more they feel good about themselves, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they, when they charge $75 for an autograph, $50, I mean, but I always preach this, and I haven't done it in a long time. There used to be a time on my channel I would do a live show called The Young Guns. And what I try to do is bring all the I look for all the 20-year-olds, people that are doing like Bigfoot investigations or paranormal, and bring them on because I love it when I see young people want to research and look into it, because we live in a weird world now where everything is computers, online, with phones and stuff. People aren't going out in the fields anymore. Even my own son plays online games all the time and all that. So when I see young people going out there, I used to do a show, bring them all up, because I want to celebrate that. Because you need those people to continue the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, 90% of the people on this planet do not believe in UFOs. They don't believe in the Bigfoot. They don't believe in the paranormal. They could care less. There's only a tiny percentage. And when you see young people, you should appreciate that and get them on. And it's just because they're the ones who are going to keep it going for us. I'm not a young guy anymore. Dude, I just had surgery 8 weeks ago on my leg.
Yeah. There's a young guy that's, I talk cryptic, and he's over, overseas, and he does a really good job on, he does paranormal, and he talks about dogmen and all kinds of stuff. And and it's great that you can see young people doing that instead of, stuck in these things all day. And nowadays girls don't know how to cook. It's delivered to the door. Well, I don't need to cook. It comes to my door, and it's a shame.
Yeah. So I love it when my 16-year-old daughter went out with me today on a Bigfoot paranormal search. My daughter was the camera person. I loved it that she's willing to go on walks and film and all that. And so I'm encouraged, and I always tell my kids that, go out, investigate, because it doesn't matter. It's not about this. We all want to find the golden prize, right? We all want to find the golden ticket.
Oh yeah.
But researching is fun, and that's what makes you grow. If you find a footprint, trying to size it up, writing it down, how big it is, all that fun and research on the side is what's fun, valuable. Like the broken trees, what caused it, and you can learn so much from different people. And learning is what keeps you going in the first place, not keep on playing the same fighting war games.
It's just like it could be gardening or anything like that. It's that old ways that are just going away. I mean, there used to be so many old-fashioned recipes and things like that were during the Depression and whatnot, and you very seldom see anybody talk about them anymore because they're forgotten, because the younger generation is moved on past it and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's so sad we miss that stuff.
Somebody wrote, homemade potato salad is amazing. Now you're getting me hungry. Actually, my daughter went to her friend's house tonight. They're going to be making that kind of a donut they make in New Orleans, like a Prince and the Frog movie that I forgot what they call it, beignets.
Oh,
and warms my heart knowing that most kids don't even know how to make a regular donut or cake. My daughter's making a beignet.
Yeah. You see it on all the social media where people are reading the directions to make ramen. I'm like, really? How is that? How do you not know how to make just ramen? It's just you boil the water and put the noodles in. But that's where we're at right now.
I gotta say, Danny Stanton in the chat wrote, "I look for a golden ticket my entire life. All I found as a cupola lupia." He lives in Southern Carolina, and he has his own channel too, and he catches a lot of weird things in his backyard because he has a lot of woods and all that. So he doesn't even have to leave his house, and that guy get something on his camera.
That's when you were talking about just because the people don't see it, they don't believe it or whatever. But if you go to a major city and You ask somebody, when's the last time you seen a bear walking down the street? Oh, I ain't never seen a bear. And I said, are there bears out there? Yeah. But they never seen a bear. That doesn't mean just because they don't see one doesn't mean there's not something out there.
I brought that up to people all the time on my show. I go, when's the last time you saw a bear at a zoo? How many times have you been in the mountains? Oh, here and there. Have you ever saw a bear during one of your trips? No. and there's more bears than, of course. I on my channel, I brought up numbers. I can't remember the numbers, like the percentage of how many bears there are. So you had this many bears, and you maybe saw one bear out of 50 trips or 100 trips. What if the Bigfoot community is only like 25% of the overall bears?
Yeah.
Well, then you're not going to see one out of 1,000.
And there's mountain lions.
And I always hate this part too. Where's the bones? Dude, you ever see any animals when you go out in the woods when a deer gets killed and stuff?
Even deer.
They get eaten up by the circle of life dramatically and fast.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you see a bone on the ground, how many times are you gonna pick up the bone like, oh, I might keep this? It might be a Bigfoot. You might just throw it away. Of course, another animal would take it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mountain lions. It's been told that you never see a mountain lion. If you see it, he's probably on your back. Because wolves are another thing. Wolves are so. If you see a wolf, then you'll hear them in trouble.
You'll hear them. That's about it.
Yeah, now, wolves are so sneaky. That's out of everything in the woods. That'd be the one thing that scares me the most. I've been 10 feet away from a bear, and it didn't bother me. Now a wolf, because if you see one, there's multiple wolves around you waiting.
There's more.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they don't growl or they don't do anything, and they know what to do to get the prey. They don't communicate. Well, they probably do in some sort of way, but you don't hear it. It's just like, it's amazing what wolves will do. And that's just a wolf. You don't know that a Bigfoot is 10 times more stealthier than that.
And like Chrissy Cat wrote, in Alaska, they see bears and mooses all the time. Yeah. And there's environments that you can see them more.
Yeah.
But if you people, deer hunters, like if you're a deer hunter, when you go deer hunting, you see does all the time, but you can't shoot does. Bucks are the ones you really got to look for. Nature takes over. These bucks know when it's season. They're not going to come. They got horns. Mm-hmm. They're not going to come out and say, take a free shot. You see does all the time. If these Bigfoots, I believe, this is just what I believe. I believe they know your smell from a miles away. And somebody brought this up about our counter, because our counter wasn't just like one person. There was 12 of us who seen it. Somebody says, because we camp at the same spot every year. There was a time in life where other hunters respect people's spots. That's the Wood family spot. Nobody camps there. That's the Wood families. That's their spot. Hey, that no more nowadays. People first come, first get. They don't give a shit no more, right? And some people said, Eric, that Bigfoot might have let himself be seen because he knows you, because you're there every year.
Smells you. Yeah.
Smells you and all that.
Oh, I remember him. I started
thinking about that. I'm like, maybe that's the why, because you keep thinking they're so hard and you think they hide, but then why was this one out in the open? He might know. That's why he didn't try to harm us. And I can see some truth into that, because we camp in the same spot every year.
Or maybe his family was over here and he wanted to go that way.
True. I didn't think about that. Like bring you along over there.
Yeah.
And of course, I always have the love for paranormal, because I'm always, I'm that guy that I'm not afraid to look for the ultimate answer. I'm looking for the ultimate. See, the paranormal I love because I want the ultimate answer to life. Is there life after death? I want to know, because when I look for the paranormal, if there's a ghost or a spirit, and if you can communicate and you're talking to one, that means that's an energy from a person from past life. That means that energy is there. That means your body does go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. What chooses a spirit to stay? No, I mean, that's what we're looking for. Why we only see certain kind of spirits, and some spirits are up there, certain kind of ghosts. Why can't we see like all ghosts? I mean, that's the mystery.
Why
Is
some
there
choose to
life
stay?
after death? And some people say, Eric, you probably never want to know that answer. Well, the thing is, if I never get that answer, I mean, it's not like somebody
You'll
had
find
died
out
and said, Eric,
eventually.
there is no life after death, because if somebody dies, I'm not going to hear that. So let me look. So that's one of the things that I love about the paranormal, because I'm always searching to one day, hopefully, not just hear a voice. I would love to have an intelligent conversation with the ghost and see what answers I get. That's what ultimately I'm looking for, because I think knowing that there's life after death is probably the biggest question that could ever be answered out there. And the thing is, I love about the paranormal is, when you look for Bigfoot, now I'm lucky I live next to the mountains and all that. Not everybody does. UFOs, yeah, all you have to do is look up. But that's a big sky. You got airport, airplanes, you got so many things. But technically, you don't really have to go far for a paranormal, because paranormal can happen anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere, your backyard. I mean, it's the one thing that almost anybody can easily go do if they want to.
Yeah, even in this house, I have something in the house that likes to open my cupboards. And I've put strong cupboard locks on my on there and everything, and I'll go in there and every one of them are open.
I don't know.
I just it's just a normal thing now.
I don't know what episode it was. Maybe Danny can remember. There was one time on my channel. It was a live show, and I was doing the live show. I can't remember exactly, but I was. I have a green screen, so this is Baby Yoda. But I was like asking questions, because the day before, I have a friend of mine who's a medium, and she gave me a private medium talk, said some things like, wow, how does she know that? A lot of people can't know that. But so the next day, I'm like, she's telling me that, there is somebody next to me. So the next day I was on air, and I'm like, is anybody here with me? And this happened live on air. And I go, can you make something move? In the video, everybody you hear this noise, like crackling. Like, huh. And I pointed to the noise. Right? See, this is a green screen. The green screen went straight down when I asked it to move, right on air. He wrote, I remember that stuff moved live. Yeah, I just don't know what episode that was, and then of course you get the people like, oh, Eric, you probably planted it where the green screen. I go, first of all, that was a 2-hour show, and when I asked something to move, that was at an hour and 27 mark. What, I taped it enough where at that moment in time I asked and it came down? How lucky is that? But dude, I was so happy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so excited, because I asked to do something, the most unexpected thing, the whole screen came down. I was just like, oh man, it was fantastic.
Yeah, speaking of green screens, normally I have, well, this is not up there, but usually I have where I'm sitting in a bunker, and people will actually think that I'm in a bunker And I've showed people, I put my hand up here and moved it around and everything. And I still have people that still think that I live in a bunker, that I'm rich. I have a bunker. And I'm like, no, sorry. I wish I did, but it's just a picture on a green screen.
That's awesome. And I do want to say, if anybody does check out my channel, I'm going to give you guys one little disclaimer on one of the investigation video that's called I uploaded Black Diamond Cemetery Investigated by the Paranormal team. Only reason I'm going to give a little disclaimer, my brother was down for Fresno, and my brother likes life. He's out there, and we're in the middle of the cemetery. He's drinking a beer, having a good time. But some people think that, oh, you guys are being disrespectful. No, we're just having a good time doing an investigation. I mean, we're serious about it, but some people they don't want to see somebody drink a beer or have a good time. And I just want to warn, if somebody watches that one, because that was a fun video, because it got dark. We thought we caught some pretty good stuff, but my brother is more free, and you can't control my brother. The best episodes are the old ones. That.
Well, we're at the point. I'll go ahead and ask you, like, your future plans for your channel and stuff, what you got coming up, so that people here that's watching might want to come over and see what you got coming up.
Like I said, in starting in the middle of last year, I started the first season of the cartoon series. I always consider 8 episodes a season on my cartoon series. And this year, I already put out episode 1 of 2 of the second season. And I got episode 3 coming out in a couple weeks. So there's 2D animation, which I already got the 2-3 done. And even though they're about 7-8 minutes, there's a lot of work that actually goes into those cartoons, believe it or not. There's actually a lot of work. Since I had the surgery, I've been going out a little bit more on investigations. So the live shows are still going to be there, but they're going to be more of an increase also of an investigation videos of myself going out there more than there was in the past, because now I can move around again and all that. Like, I'm putting up.
Yeah.
I went out on an investigation today before this show, so I'll be putting that out on Sunday. And of course, we have guests. I also sometimes have a co-host, Anthony of Unidentified S4. He's a more of a pure UFO channel, because it's a cool mix of having like a UFO guy, a paranormal guy, and we'll have other guests coming on. Like, I got a lot of guests coming on. Like, for example, tomorrow, I got this person coming on that I've never talked to before. Like, I'm new to you, a guy named Samuel Chong, who apparently is a big, huge believer of an abduction, alien abduction. And I want to know why he's so, why he's into it. I mean, what's real about the abduction to you? And then I have different kind of people coming on, like this Friday. Then this Friday, I have another guy coming on. His name is Hunter. Where is it? Hunter Nino. It's called that episode's called "Come Talk to Cryptids, Paranormal Movies, and More," where this guy with a group in Florida are making horror movies, not like high budget horror movies, but they're putting their money together and making these B type horror movies. So I got a lot of guests coming on. And then what's interesting is this Monday, I just booked a guy named Robert Earl White, where this guy has made claims that he's been abducted himself. And his story, when you listen to his story, it's I'm not saying you have to believe it, people, or not, but he makes good cases on why his story really happened. So I'll be having people coming on. And then, like I said, my buddy Anthony is actually in the middle of making a documentary with his director is the action director on Saving Private Ryan that worked with Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, there's so many things that are happening this year that it's just this is going to be a banner year, in my opinion, with more going on investigations, and then I'll be going through in July for like 3-4 days. There's a big Bigfoot camp out by Mount St. Helens volcano
Oh, that'd be
mountain
cool.
near Washington, where there's going to be a lot of people that's from the Bigfoot research community. Like, if people follow Bigfoot, I don't know all the names yet, they're sitting me, but there'll be some big people there. I'm going to be there with them, camping out, going out, and I'm working on a major project that won't happen this summer. That's going to happen this next summer. That I talked about it. I don't know what 3-4 days. I need to show some people some videos that since I can't get invited to be at these conferences, I am working on making my own in New York.
There you go.
I found this area that I have a brother, I have a nephew, brother-in-law who owns this cabin that owns this like 28 camps and all that. And we were talking. I was up in New York just a couple of weeks ago.
It's like, up by Crystal Lake, is it?
It's called Cedar Pines. It's like it's like a Cedar Pines is like an hour and a half past Syracuse. So it's up there in the woods.
Oh, okay.
It's really up there. So people will have to travel to get there. But I'm like, I'm gonna create my own conference, my own con.
Yeah.
You know? And I already got the place. He said I'm gonna have it 2-3 days, whatever days I wanted. So there's a lot of great fun things that's coming together, and it's, you know, take day by day and make it happen. Because I want to bring Bigfoot, paranormal, UFO all into one. I want people, because listen, I hate when people go out on Bigfoot investigations and they hear a noise, they automatically think that that's a Bigfoot or that's this. Guys, what if that's a ghost? What if that's a spirit? What if those red eyes is not a wolf? I mean, if you follow the paranormal, some of these things you're seeing is that. So I want to bring where everybody, when you go out, have an open mind that could be anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I went out today on the Bigfoot search, I had my paranormal stuff with me. And I was telling you before the show, we didn't catch nothing on any type of evidence of Bigfoot, but we got sounds from the paranormal. So there's a lot of good things coming down. It's, you know, just taking it day by day. And yeah, guys, check out my channel. And seriously, check out the cartoon series. You will love it. There's 10 of them out there. They're fun. They're great. And they're all done by real YouTube channels. So one day in my next episodes, I'm going to have my buddy here do a voice.
I do other, well, I have software that changes my voice, but yeah.
Yeah, we have that too. We have a guy that doesn't really like his voice. So I say, yeah, I go, no problem. Well, high pitched one. Like, oh, that sounds great. No problem.
There you go. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, everybody, make sure you go over and check out his channel and subscribe, leave a comment, all that stuff.
Yeah, and check out my live show tomorrow with Samuel Chung. See what's it about, you know, how we handle guests and all that. I think you guys will have a good time.
What time's your live tomorrow?
I've been since it's summer now. My one kid graduated high school. My other daughter is going to be driving now. I moved it to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So 9 a.m. Pacific time on the West Coast. And that's 12 o'clock on the East
12?
Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did that at 9. So people on the East Coast, if you're on lunch, yeah, you get to watch it.
Yeah.
I like to do the morning shows. Then everybody else could do the late shows.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody, I'll be I'll go ahead and leave you with another clip of, because tonight I'll be over on 10 TVs late night. She's another West Coaster, and I'll catch everybody over there.
Yeah.
But you know what, Chin? Let's do this. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that.
Somebody put some detail into this. I like it. Noah, you guys are watching. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, no professional shit, you know. I don't know if there's spaceships, but I think I see a whole another planetary celestial body out there, like planets and moons, because I see small balls and little bigger balls, and I see balls.